Hi and welcome back to another SDI coffee break, and again we're with our good friend and colleague Barclay Rae. Hello Barclay.
Hello.
On the last session we were talking about the social impact of working remotely and what it means in organisations, how quickly organisations have had to adapt, and we were touching upon some of the key thoughts in what it means with, you know, when teams work together, how they collaborate, what they need to do at any one point in time. And I just want to get your thoughts on what that means now. You know, I think what we've seen in our organisation, we're working more agilely than maybe we have before. You know, we're looking at smaller goals or shorter timeframes around goals. We're coming together to do small sprint type meetings and then working on things and coming back again. So and we've not done that on purpose. It's just a natural sort of thing. What do you think about those working practices in relation to teams working right now, if you look at those types of methodologies and the way that, you know, work happens?
Well, I mean, I suppose many organisations have been moving towards that for some time. You know, maybe not comprehensively, but parts of their organisations have been doing that for a while. It's probably maybe slightly new for some areas or some teams or some parts of organisations. I think the biggest challenge is how you manage teams remotely, how you maintain the governance and as you've said, control. I mean, control maybe doesn't sound like a great word, but I think it's still a good one, because what we're talking about is consistency and sustainable. You know, we're trying to have sustainable businesses, aren't we? We're trying to create businesses and operations and teams that are doing stuff that works and will continue to work and is consistent in some way and flexible and all these kind of good things. And when you do, particularly if you push out teams that have been traditionally working in a more sort of Victorian environment, they very often don't know how to, and they maybe need more guidance. They certainly need more support and steer as to how they should be spending their time. And there's the big sort of the elephant in the room is the whole trust thing about how much organisations do actually trust, and the management trust their people, and people trust their management, all that kind of thing. So that doesn't just disappear overnight. That takes time and transparency and openness and you know, good ethics to deliver. But I suppose it still comes down to this question of how if you've got 15 or 20 people or 8 or 10 people, and traditionally you see most of them every day or every whatever, and you can spend some quality time with them at these sessions, how do you replace that? You know, and you manage a team, you know this, Dave. There are some people that need to be managed closely and reassured and given support and driven and nudged, and there's others that you can give them an open brief and they'll go and do stuff. And how do you do that consistently and fairly when there's a virtual organization? How do you have those interactions at the right time to ensure that you're managing those people properly? I think it's got to be a combination of some face-to-face and some home working. I think we've seen that for years, where people that do work from home have to come in every so often. They have to spend time with the teams that they're with, and there's a good reason for that. It's back to social continuity. It's back to the fact that as people, we need to be together to share the love, you know, share whatever it is that we're trying to do. We need to just be resetting against that and checking how we're all doing. So that's probably, I think, for me, is a big challenge.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think, and we've talked briefly about, you know, when you look at compliance, governance, adherence, process adherence, the quality control around that. I mean, it is a new game. It's almost we need to rewrite the rules a little bit. You know, not massively, but we need to just reinvent some of this a little bit, which is interesting, because we talked about abstract earlier, didn't we? And we talked about, you know, I really believe that some of the best service management is absolutely creative. It isn't shackled by process. You know, there's a start and a finish, and there's some creativity in the middle. You know, and I'd like to think that this situation will give people who may not have had the opportunity to be creative, And that in its own right, for me, may create more motivation, more purpose, even better outcomes potentially. Some organizations might get better through this, Barclay. Some may get better through this, And
I
you
think
mentioned,
some will, but many won't, because
yeah.
I think there's a risk that, and that whole thing about being creative and innovative, not everybody is creative and innovative. And give the wrong people too much flexibility or control when they don't understand it or they don't have whatever capabilities to deal with it. That's dangerous as well. I mean, that's not sensible.
Yes.
So it comes back to understanding your people and how you manage them and know who you can allow to be more creative. I think agile is a lot more than just allowing people, that kind of creativity and flexibility. It still requires measurement, control, and all those kind of things. But allowing people to do what they need to do when they need to do it, and in the right circumstances.
Yeah.
We're still managing businesses, and that's about risk. Risk and cash, ultimately.
Yeah.
And at the moment, we've got this challenge with many organizations where it is about cash flow and risk, and there will be real challenges with that for probably years to come, I think.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. It is almost it's a completely new it's just a completely new paradigm, I think, isn't it? I was thinking as well about, if you look at the organizations who have worked and managed offshore teams, especially in the managed service area, without seeing them face to face, I mean, this is probably going to be, in some way, shape or form, some sort of BAU, some normality really, rather than not. I'll tell you what, look, we'll close this one, Hugh Barclay, and we'll carry on with the next one, where it'd be great to listen to think about that human thing, to think about, what is motivation and purpose and meaning. What does reward and recognition mean right now? We'll maybe speak about some of that. So thank you for listening. Thank you, Barclay. And we'll catch you in the next video. Thank you.